What's going on, everyone? So this is my review, as you probably guessed based on the title, for Zombieland Double Tap, now in theaters 10 years after the events of the first film. Quite surprising, actually, because many people, including myself, thought there would have been a sequel a couple years after the first film. Well, I guess we had to wait 10 years, but guys, 10 years later, is the second one any good? Let's find out. Firstly, the premise. 10 years after the events of the first film, this group of four individuals, they are still together, a makeshift family of sorts, and they are essentially facing off against evolved zombies. The cast, for those of you who don't know, it's Jesse Eisenberg, Woody Harrelson, Abigail Breslin, and of course, Emma Stone. The cast is great in this movie. As you probably know that based on if you like the first one, the chemistry is great between these four. I mean, when they're on screen together and they're banter back and forth, it's great. They have very good comedic timing. I absolutely adored whenever they were on screen together. It was great stuff. I like the style. They continued the style of the first. Actually, they even added a little bit of meta humor to it, which I really appreciate. I mean, it's the writers who gave us Deadpool. But what they did, I mean, it's the same writers also that did the original, but they added a little bit of meta humor, and I think it really did work for these scenarios. And also, I really dug also the cameos in this movie. Specifically, I want to give a shout out to Luke Wilson and Thomas Middleditch. I think I'm saying that right. I'm currently watching Silicon Valley, almost done that, but Thomas Middleditch is the main character in that show, and to see him in this role, I don't know, I thought it was personally pretty funny to see that. I also have to say that I liked how this movie was short, much in the same way as the first one. It's a diverting movie, but I'm just going to get right into it. I do think that even though this movie does have its share of positives, I was kind of bothered by this movie because even though I had low expectations for this movie, because when you see a trailer that doesn't really reveal that much, it's either one or two things. First thing is it could just be saving a lot of things so that we as the viewers are surprised when we actually watch the movie. Something that doesn't happen too often in films, at least mainstream movies these days. The second one is that there's not that much material, and because of that, there's not much to reveal. It's the latter, unfortunately, in the case of this movie. I think that this movie really did suffer from a lack of momentum in terms of the story. I understand a lot of people are going to say, oh, well, it's a comedy. There's not really much story in a comedy. I disagree. I think some of the best comedies have a mix of great storytelling with injected humor, as well as drama that's sprinkled in and works really well. This movie, unfortunately, and I realize this about the halfway point, I thought the movie was hilarious, but then the halfway point, it kind of lost steam, and this scene started ripping apart, and I kind of realized how light on story it is, because when the movie wasn't funny for me, when the humor wasn't working, and you actually see the mechanics of the story, it really isn't that good. Especially the subplot with Abigail Breslin and the stoner. I thought that was actually really dull, and I was surprised by that too, because I was like, this has potential. I liked the overall arc about, obviously being anti-violence. I liked that message. But overall, they ended up blowing up that message anyways at the end. No spoilers, but you probably guessed that. But it's not even just that. I think that the final act, I mentioned it a little bit earlier, I mean, it just kind of falls flat. Once the story starts kicking into gear, you kind of realize how little imagination there is with what's going on in the final act. It stinks because it almost feels as though you're left in the dust, because it's okay, when a comedy isn't funny, but it's trying to focus on other stuff such as action, but it doesn't work, it kind of stinks. Because here's my thing with the final act. I liked what they were attempting to go for, but I felt like it's the equivalent of if you're doing outside work and you're digging a hole in the ground, and then all of a sudden, everyone's around you and you're digging a hole, and then everyone's watching yeah, and then all of a sudden you're just screw it, and you just throw away the shovel and you just walk away, and it's bro, I want to see the hole get dug. And unfortunately, Zombieland Double Tap, I mean, you're left with a small hole in the ground, and you want to see if it goes deeper. And unfortunately, we don't know. We won't know because it's a very shallow film, unfortunately. And I get it. Maybe I'm overanalyzing it. Maybe I'm a critic. Yes, I am. But here's the problem. When you have a movie like the first one, where it was so invigorated with being original, especially in a genre that was oversaturated, and you have a sequel that could do the same thing, especially with writers that did the original and Deadpool, it stinks when you see that this is a film that is excited for being just basic. And I personally don't like that. It's very frustrating. I get it. Many people are just going to watch this for shallow entertainment, and that's fine. On that basics, it works. But as a film that is a sequel to a good film, it stinks seeing it like this. I'm just being honest with you guys, the way I always am. Is it a bad film? No. On a shallow level, it works. I know I already mentioned that, but I want to emphasize that. It's not a bad movie. It's just a film that could have been more than the sum of its parts. And that's why overall, Zombieland Double Tap, I'll be giving it a 3 out of 5 star rating. I'll be safe with this movie. I'll give it a 3 out of 5 star rating, which feels like a hot sauce rating. It's the good old Frank's rating. Frank's hot sauce, basic hot sauce for a basic movie. It stinks, because again, this is a movie that could have been better. If you guys want my thoughts, on why the third act didn't really work, you can ask in the comment section down below. But again, on a surface level, it's an enjoyable movie. And if you just want surface level entertainment, that's fine. This is a movie for you. It is the movie of the week. And I guess I will have to accept that. But guys, enough about my thoughts. Zombieland Double Tap. What did you think about it? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And what's your favorite zombie movie? Me personally, my favorite is probably either 28 Days Later or the original Dawn of the Dead, 1978 one. I really like that one as well. Yours favorite zombie film, comment section down below. And as always, don't forget the subscription, notification bell, and I'll catch you guys later.